Growing with Intentions, Kevin Haslett.
Well, I came up with this speech quite a while ago when I had to do an essay in English, and I thought about growing with intentions. Well, growing with intentions is about the first time when I bought a house. My wife got pregnant, we moved into this really nice house, and the house was really well, but the garden wasn't so well. So as she was pregnant and going, I was outside quite a bit, and making habits in the garden grow, making things. I would spend a few hours here, spend a few hours there. And this neighbor and I, we shared this ivy plot, and nothing ever really grew there. So I put in a rose tree here, and I put in a rose there. And then off in the distance, I noticed in the ivy, there was a rose. It had the similar leaves, but it was quite different, just a little bit different. I reached down in there, and I saw there was a star, but there was no roses on it. It was just kind of dormant. So I put a little water there, put a little food down for it, and after a month or so, it started to sprout, started to germinate and grow roses. And I thought, oh, that's interesting on how this actually feeding it, nurturing it, giving it time, giving it attention, and it came up, came to life. Well, my son came out, there he is, 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old, he's going through life, everything is going well. And there was all these times when, on occasions, he'd go to school and he'd get all bound up like that ivy. And he would just be kind of inundated with the energy of all the other kids, where he was up on top and where he was kind of down low. After a while, I had son number 2, complete opposite. Just, Ryan, he was a nature guy. He'd take him out in the nature, he'd be happy, he'd know all the animals, know all the birds, and just be content. Craig was a sport guy. He had to have his balls, he had to have the playing, he had to have the running around, everything. Craig, you take him out in the woods, all he'd do is see the sticks and just go, I want to fight you, I want to fight you, I want to fight you. It was like the knight in the Holy Grail. I want to fight you, I want to fight you. Everything was about, I want to fight you. And just hamming it up. Ryan was never that way. He was more kind of serious, more kind of just going through life and just kind of looking at the bigger picture. Craig just hit it up. He's like playing in the creek, getting up into the creek, up to here, being all muddy, and you'd have to take him to the car and then strip him down and then toss him in without too many people looking and noticing, and that was Craig. So as time goes, I understood that, life is all awful lot like plants. You have to give them attention. You have to kind of work with their little ivy where it's all kind of knotted up, and everything was just, after time you found those roses inside those kids, or you find these coworkers. I'm at work right now, and I just took a transfer in my job, and I got to deal with new people, and some of those people were challenging, and sometimes I had to step back and to kind of reevaluate how to deal with a certain person that was completely different than my own. And this one guy challenged me and challenged me. Finally, I spoke to, not the supervisor, because I had been there only a few months, but he had only been there a few days. So I felt like, I'll talk to the superintendent. I have a good rapport with her, a good relationship, and it was easy. She was friendly, and so we talked for a brief moment, and I said, here I am trying to work with this person, but yet he goes this way and I want to go that way. What do you suggest? And she said, I understand, I'm behind you, I know where you want to go and what you want to do, but you got to find equilibrium with him. And I said, okay. I'm able to kind of slow this down even more, and being able to register, not go full tilt, but I can downshift it a full another gear. I had downshifted it 2 gears, and I was not comfortable. And when Lisa, the superintendent, said, just take it at his pace, find that compromise, and you'll go forward. 3 days later, Ron excelled. he started doing things that he was never doing before. There was not much resistance, and I was like, this is incredible. All I had to kind of do is find this equilibrium, and it was just an easier stance on all of it. Today, we're just communicating and having fun, and we're on this pace where he feels a little bit safer, and I feel like I'm safer, and he's like, okay. And then I work with somebody else, and it's total shifting of gear of that person, and being able to resonate on where they're at. And then there's, you know, my kids, the same way, that ivy that's all twisted up, but there's always those roses that kind of come to bloom, and we get to enjoy later on in life. Thank you for that.